What's up, guys? We are here with another interview. This is Liz Hensley. She is a local realtor. Hey, Liz, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Joey?
And where do you work?
I work with Texas Home Group Realtors. We have 3 offices, Willis, Conroe, and Spring. And our broker is a real estate attorney, which for the consumer means we are ethical, we follow all the rules, and do things by the book.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. Well, listen, we're going to ask you some questions. Let's get started by just telling us about your business. How long have you been in business? What all do you do day to day, all that good stuff?
I have been in business since 2007. I moved here from St. Louis, Missouri when I had a fresh start on life and got to know everything down here actually truly by the street. Driving around, finding things, going to a lot of open houses, going to broker open houses. Started finally getting some clients about a year into the business because this is a business where you have to know people, and I really didn't know anybody. So I truly had to start from the ground up.
Awesome. Hey, I'm curious just a little bit of, about the real estate business. You're a part of a group, but you're also, your own boss. So you can talk about a little bit about what that relationship is, what does it do for you, and just kind of the ins and outs of that particular side of being a real estate agent.
Okay, yeah, and you're exactly right. We are all independent contractors. We work for ourselves. Our broker is there as a supervisory position, but it is up to us how we want to grow and maintain our business. We are not an office that is based on production. Our goals are those for ourselves. We have our own personal goals. I am one of the top producers in our office, so I'm not a 2 or 3 transaction per year agent. This is my actual bread and butter business. It's how I support myself and pay my bills. But I also don't have that aspiration to be a $20 million a year producer because I want to enjoy my life at the same time. So I find a nice balance by being able to work at this particular brokerage where I have for quite some time. And it gives me the flexibility to either travel, develop relationships outside of simply work. And with everything going on right now with the whole coronavirus shutdown, making things a little challenging for us, I've really put a lot of focus on my own health and preparing to ride in the MS 150, which has also been postponed. But it did not change my writing style or schedule in the least.
Cool. Well, why don't you talk about a little bit about how you got into it, a little bit of your background. I know you've been in business for quite a while, just how you got into the business and how that started.
Well, in my past life, when I was married and had a normal jobs working for corporate America, my background was in customer service, but in that position, I was a supervisor with a team. I also helped with editing a catalog and helping our marketing department. I would go to trade shows. I would help train our salespeople who were above me because I was customer support for them. And I worked in accounts receivable, accounts payable, and inventory. So all the different positions that I held and the functions that I served in that 17-year part of my life have really helped me to be a good, I don't want to say business owner, but I have a broad overview of what real estate actually is, as well as what the consumer client that I'm working with is dealing with themselves. And number one, it should be about focusing on service as well as compassion and understanding. This is something where we are buying and selling commodities, to put it in really abrupt terms, since we are in an oil and gas industry down here, keep it like that. But it is still a people business. And as much as we have been putting a focus on using technology to help market listings and capture buyers, we still have to be able to find a way to connect to the person and people that we are dealing with, as well as being able to interact with the agents on the other side of the transaction. This is all about being able to get along, work together, not be adversarial, because we are trying to come to a conclusion when we are in a transaction with a house, whether it's buying or selling.
Yep, very well said. Well, with that being said, I actually saw a story on the news today. It was kind of about it was about real estate and open houses and how that's kind of changed. So in this time, I know you said you kind of hit the pause button a little bit, but what kind of things have you done or had to do really in terms of your business because of the shelter in place or whatever it's called, lockdown situation that we're in?
It's made it challenging for me because I like to hold open houses and make that basically my storefront for a couple of hours.
Right.
And people come in. Well, obviously it's a little harder to do that. I am still finding some ways to do those, but what I have started doing is getting back to my old school ways of sending regular old greeting cards in the mail to my past clients, client prospects, my friends and industry partners, reminding them that I am still here in business. I appreciate the referrals as well as sending them some joy in their mailbox, because I think that that stands out and sets me apart from other agents who are just sending them things constantly, either email or text messages or calling or something that's technology based. We are already getting so much of that. Isn't it
Right.
nice to get something more interesting or fun in your mailbox than a bill or another community impact newspaper? And you're like, wow, somebody took the time to sit down and send me a card that was specifically written to them. So I have gone to that. I've also done a little more networking, I guess I'll say, within the agent community myself, and finding some listing agents who are afraid to go show a house or don't want to do the traditional model. I'm doing some open houses for rental properties. I haven't really changed the way that I've interacted with the clientele that are coming in. I'm not running up to people and giving them a big hug and go, oh my gosh, I've missed you. I still have a social distance anyway. It's just
Right.
my nature. So being available and holding some homes open for people who really are still out there looking and need that accessibility is where I feel like I'm becoming more of an asset to some of those other agents as well as to just the general public.
That's good. That's good. One of the things that I've kind of seen in talking to local business owners as we've started this is just really the focus on customer service and personability. I've seen that quite a bit, and that's really awesome to see. I think that puts us a step ahead where maybe we wouldn't be able to get ahead is by being good customer service reps, really.
Right.
So in leading into that, what do you feel like, this will probably be my last question, what do you feel like you do best? And just if you were talking to somebody who was looking to try to buy or sell a house or put their house up for rent, why should they choose you over somebody else in your market?
Education. The number one thing that I emphasize when I deal with any client, whether it's listing, buying, or renting, is I want them to have the information at hand available to understand what they're getting into before they start spending money on applications or putting a contract on a property or having their house listed. Here's what's going to happen step by step. And so I give them handouts, old school paper, because I like to touch things, and I can email it too. But I have it basically written through our office at the level of a fifth grader, and it's very simple to understand. Here's some real estate terms, some advice that our broker wants to share to every buyer client. I'll give them a blank offer document so they can be reading the verbiage that's in there and not feel like they're signing something and then they're confused or feel like maybe they're getting roped into something. I want everyone to come in knowing here's what to expect. Like when you're expecting, and there's a book about that for pregnancies, same concept, know what you're getting into ahead of time, and an understanding of what your expenses will be up front too, so there's not that surprise at the end. That's the number one thing. It isn't going to be because I'm going to check in with you every 30 minutes. Hey, how you doing? You feeling okay? What's going on with you? Because we all have other things going on, and I know in this particular time, people are busy with homeschooling their kids, worrying about if they're going to be able to keep their jobs, what's going to happen next. So I don't want to add to any of that. In saying that too, I know there are a lot of realtors who are out there right now that are really focusing their business on Facebook and video marketing and all of that. I have found for me personally, I take better care of my clients as well as myself by stepping away from that. We're just being barraged with all the information that we're getting through the news, and it doesn't change from hour to hour.
Right.
So I take it and make a priority for myself that I'm riding my bike every day, and it's hardcore at this point. I've ridden 3 days this week, already 120 miles. I'm going to ride another 30 tomorrow, and my goal for this month is to ride 776 miles because somebody challenged me on Strava, and I will be chipping away at that the next couple of days. It's also a way that I have found to network and create some great relationships, because what I find through our own social marketing spheres in this way, and it's just like, again, attracts like. I find a lot of great people to ride with, and we have some amazing conversations, and most of them have ended up being either in oil and gas or new home construction too. And we create a bond because we're out there doing this writing and getting that break away. And we don't talk about business the whole time, hardly ever. But once you throw it out there, this is what each of us do. You're like, okay, great. I like you. I accept you. Let's keep spending time together, and it'll eventually come back around. So that's really what I've been doing in its own weird way to build my business. And it's funny too, to come back to the Viking thing. If you look it up on YouTube, the CEO of the Sam's Club, the Sam Walton family, well, they're based in Bentonville, Arkansas, which is a huge Viking community. So that CEO has a series on YouTube called Business on Bikes. And he will interview other entrepreneurs, business owners, celebrities riding bicycles together
Oh, wow, that's cool.
on the streets of Arkansas. And he's got this whole camera crew videoing the thing, and it's really pretty cool. So in the back of my head, I'm thinking about this series myself called Business on Bikes. And I've gone through some of the master plan communities like Town Lake, and I'll ride there on Sunday, and I can map that out on my Strava and get to see the housing that's over there and the boardwalk that's over there and the restaurants. And eventually, when I get around to it, I'll probably do a little video series about that stuff. But right now, we're geared towards getting my miles in and figuring out what I'll do for the fall.
That's awesome. Like it's great that you found a way to do what you love and have that be a part of building your business. And one thing that you said, I remember, a couple of years ago, me and my wife were buying our first house. And I just remember talking to our realtor and saying, can you just tell me what this means in layman's terms? So I think that's super valuable to customers when you can have somebody, because you're looking through hundreds of pieces of paper and have no idea and just kind of throw your hands up. And there were some surprise costs. Yeah. So I think that's awesome for your customers to have that. And that's great. Couldn't get much better than that. So, well, thank you so much for your time today. I definitely learned something. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Joey.
All right. Thank you. Guys, watch the interview, get interviewed. Send me a message, comment on the post that I put up today. Get your business name out there. It's free press. Hit me up and let's get you interviewed. See y'all next time.